last year marked the end of an era. Now, all living First Ladies have served in the 21st century, each carving out unique portfolios and roles in their husband's White House. Dr. Jill Biden is the first First Lady to hold a full-time job outside of her White House duties, teaching English at Northern Virginia Community College. Dr. Biden and her fellow First Ladies are now the subject of the new book titled American Woman, The Transformation of the Modern First Lady from Hillary Clinton to Jill Biden. And its author, New York Times White House correspondent Katie Rogers, joins us now. Katie, so exciting.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so what made you, how did you go about the book? I'm fascinated by all of these women. And what were you looking for in terms, were you looking for kind of commonalities? Were you looking for differences? Were you looking for a narrative thread? How did you do it?
Yeah, I sort of started with the idea that the 90s was this sort of really transformational decade for young women in particular, who had grown up with tales of, you know, what could be possible for them from their own mothers. The Equal Pay Act had passed in the early 60s. Roe v. Wade had established a constitutional right to abortion. The 80s saw this influx of women into the working world, and the 90s really begins with the exit of the Bushes and the entrance of the Clintons. Hillary Clinton was, of course, an attorney. She was very ambitious. She was looked at as sort of a co-equal with her husband, which was actually her first mistake as First Lady, because the Clintons went in and she was assigned a very ambitious policy role in remaking American health care. So really, I use her as the first bookend for a First Lady who came in as an activist and an ambitious person with goals of policy making. And she sort of establishes this third rail for the women who come after, which is be an activist, be a supporter for your husband. It is not a co-equal role.
The one that really stands out for me of all of them is Melania. Mm-hmm. She seems like the one who didn't even really want to be there. I mean, Laura Bush had a role supporting her husband, particularly in wartime. Michelle Obama, perhaps reluctant, but stepped up,
right,
and was visible and had a role as a voice, as the first black first lady. But Melania Trump was not invisible, but not very visible, not very there.
Yeah, and it was interesting. I talked to one of her former aides, Stephanie Grisham, for the role. She was a former White House press secretary and top aide to Melania, who had said, you know, she would tell us all the time, this is our office, we do our own thing. And she said, we might have, you know, pushed it a little too far, but we did establish that this role is completely voluntary, which is true. It's, you know, you're not paid. There are no actual rules. You can do as little or, you know, as much to a point, I suppose, as you want. I think, you know, Melania Trump did enjoy being the First Lady, and liked putting the First Lady logo on things and traveling in her capacity as First Lady. She liked a lot less the scrutiny that came with it. She was a headline obsessive. She still is. She trolls I should say, the internet for coverage of her and her husband. So she liked that part a lot less. But the ceremonial part, you know, she enjoyed.
She trolls for trolls. Trolls for trolls.
Yes.
My wife does that too. So what's so interesting is, and you can see it reflected in the first three First Ladies of this century, is you had people like Bill Clinton, let's just say Nixon, Reagan, Bush, 41, Clinton. They loved Washington. They loved being here. They were of Washington. They knew how to make Washington work. 21st century, W is kind of like, well, my daddy lost. Maybe I want to be a two-term president. I'm simplifying this greatly. But, you know, this is a guy, he did his job.
Yeah.
He went upstairs, watched ESPN. Barack Obama came in town. You talk to anybody that worked with Obama, they'll tell you, did his job, 6 o'clock, went upstairs, he watched ESPN. Again, a gross oversimplification, but again, he wasn't Bill Clinton on the phone at midnight trying to work a deal on a subcommittee in the House, you know, civil service committee. And then Trump was Trump. None of these people creatures of Washington. It's sort of reflected in the First Ladies as well, where Laura, wonderful, did what she's supposed to do, but you got the sense she'd rather, you know, be talking to her friends.
Yeah.
In Dallas, same thing, you know, with Michelle. She hated politics. She didn't even want Barack to run for state senator. And then Melania, let's not get started there. None of them liked politics.
What's interesting, I think, that you actually didn't say Joe Biden, because I think the book actually explores him as well. But the Bidens, you know, for all of, you know, Joe Biden's
well, they've been
career
here for 50
in the Senate,
years, so he obviously likes politics.
They didn't interact in the sauce of Washington. You know, he went home every night. She was rarely, you know, in D.C. as a Senate spouse. They go home to Delaware every weekend. So they are insiders, but they live this very insular, not outsider, but insular life. So she is sort of in line with that. And he is too, in an odd, ironic way.
No.
In spite of them maybe not being Washington creatures, I love the discourse. I think it was Bill O'Reilly recently who said Michelle Obama would be the best Democratic nominee for president. Out of all the first ladies, I wonder if you either picked up any hint of political ambition, or after getting to know them better and their stories better, anyone you think might have been a better president than their husband.
Oh my gosh, I don't know if I want to touch that. I know that Michelle Obama is a frequent fantasy and sort of a nightmare, depending on your political, you know, persuasion. But I think the main theme with all of them, as different as they are, is that they all believe their husband could win, and decided that it was his choice and they were going to go along. I didn't really detect an interest in having that role, except for, you know, maybe the first one, Hillary Clinton. But one of the interesting conversations I had with her for the book was about healthcare, when she told me that she would have stepped aside gladly if she had known that being a first lady pushing a political platform, or a policy platform, would have been so, you know, controversial. She would have stepped aside, and it would have been a dream to see it pass. Now, hindsight's 20/20, but that was sort of an interesting vestige of her time there that she had shared.